Hi, Amy Hughes, team leader with Usborne Books More here. I'm going to do some project knowledge and showcase all of our Michelle Nelson-Schmidt books for you. I have some insider info as well that Michelle herself gave me about each book, so you'll want to check that out. These books are wonderful for the kids in our lives and go through different feelings and insecurities and just really help them through life. They all range from about 2 to 7, although I think some of them could be used for older kids as well, especially with the messages in them. So stay tuned. First up is Dogs, Dogs, Cats, Cats. First up, Dogs, Dogs, and Cats, Cats. Michelle Nelson-Schmidt wrote Dogs, Dogs first, and it took 2 years for it to get accepted for publishing. And Michelle had to tell a tiny little lie that Cats, Cats was in the work as a companion to Dogs, Dogs. And then when it was accepted, take off 4 days to quickly write and illustrate Cats, Cats. This book became Dogs, Dogs, an idea after Miss Michelle drew Lucy, her beloved childhood dog, on the sidewalk with some chalk for her kids and some of their friends. So she looked at that and it sparked an idea, and she started doing pet portraits for some of her friends, and then it spread, and so more customers came. And so this gave her the idea for the book, Dogs, Dogs. Many of the dogs or cats in these books are inspired by different pets that she has owned or friends have owned, and some of them have names as well. So there are as many different kinds of dogs and cats in these as there are people, which I love. Let's take a look into Dogs, Dogs. I love the black outline with the beautiful bright colors on the inside. It gives lots of great adjectives and feelings in the book. It says, dogs, dogs are everywhere. Look at all the dogs out there. And it gives you a glimpse of all the many dogs. And it goes through and it uses words like little. And I like that it teaches new words like glum and chum, feelings like sad. And it goes through and shows all of these throughout the book. Beautiful. And at the very end, my favorite part, there is a little place for your kids to look and see a picture of themselves. Right now you can see me filming, but you can see pictures of yourself in there, and it says, little girl, little boy reading this book. Which dog are you like? Take a look. Same thing for Cats, Cats, beautiful illustrations, lots of pictures, and the mirror on the back as well. Next up is Jonathan James and the What If Monster. This is our famous Jonathan James and the What If Monster for ages 3 to 7. When Jonathan James finds himself in new situations, he often hears the What If Monster asking all kinds of questions. So this book addresses all kinds of issues with anxiety, depression, insecurity. This book was created due to Miss Michelle's husband. He suffers from chronic depression and anxiety, and one day he was worrying so much that Miss Michelle jokingly said, it's like you have a little monster on your shoulder whispering everything that could go wrong, and he said, welcome to my life. So the What If Monster was created, which is modeled after her husband. It has a beautiful plush to go with it, and he is so furry and so soft, and actually Michelle first made and sold her own What If Monsters, and then manufactured a small run, and Usborne saw how popular they were and asked if they could make and sell them as well. So she only made 1,200 of her original ones, and there are 200 left on her website right now. So let's take a look inside this book, and I'm going to show you some insider secrets that Miss Michelle shared with me. So again, it says, some What If Monsters like to hang out and fill up our heads with worry and doubt. They are sneaky and quiet and quick as a blink. The words that they whisper can change how we think. Thought Jonathan James heard those words full of dread, and all of those what ifs got stuck in his head. This is Jonathan James. So it goes through all these situations, like what if I tumble? What if there's wind? What if you slip and your knee gets all skinned? And he's thinking, what if they giggle? What if I don't do a good job? So a cool little fact, these portraits you see on here are some inspired from some of her pet portrait days that I talked about in Dogs, Dogs, Cats, Cats. This food, her son had trouble sometimes trying new food, so that's where these pages were inspired from. See his little look of worry. This, you could see Lucy there from Dogs, and Dog and Mouse, and it's also got lots of mementos from her kids' childhood, including some of these stuffed animals and some things on the bookcase. And then the bibs on all of these runners are birthdays of her husband, and different family members. So there is Miss Michelle, and there is her husband. And there's a cute little dog from Dogs again in there. This is my favorite. It says, "Now wait just a minute. I have something to say. After hearing what ifs all through the day, I hear all your worries. I hear all your claims. But what if you're wrong?" asked Jonathan James. And it goes through all these situations, positive what ifs. Like, what if I climb to the top of that tree and I never slip or skin up my knee? And what if baseball is nothing but fun and I end up hitting a triple home run? And what if my drawing goes up on the wall and everyone thinks it's the best one of all? A little secret Miss Michelle told me is that this ribbon is red, but first place ribbons are actually blue. I think that's kind of funny. So it goes through lots more situations. Shows Jonathan James making a friend, and look, the what if monster is smiling here. And it shows the what if monster jumping into the water at the end and enjoying himself. So a cool thing about this book is the publisher actually wasn't crazy about it at first, but the consultants wrote to Usborne Books More and said they wanted it published so bad. So that's how Jonathan James came to fruition. Next up is Dog and Mouse. Here is Dog and Mouse for you, the fourth book with Miss Michelle Nelson-Schmidt. That is Lucy from Dogs on there, and her childhood pet as well. And book is for ages 3 to 7. It's really a rhyming tale about being a great friend and sometimes noticing what's right under your nose. So this was written actually before Dogs and Cats, and it was written for Michelle's best friend. So all the background is actually the same place, you notice, in this book. So again, the black outlines, the beautiful bright colors. You see this scene right here, in this background. These are all from, right here, the 100-Acre Woods from Winnie the Pooh, which was Michelle's son's, one of his favorite movies and shows growing up. And so it all takes place kind of with the backdrop of the 100-Acre Woods. So it goes through this story where Dog starts off and he's looking for a best friend, and Mouse shows up day after day to try to help him to find his best friend. And it says, "Mouse loves to help. She was just thrilled. Helping was her favorite and very best skill." And so every day for a year, they were always a pair, except for the day when Mouse wasn't there. "Where's that mouse?" Dog wondered aloud. "She was good at looking." Mouse made Dog proud. And he thinks back to all the cool things they did in that year. And then Mouse shows up right when Dog was getting ready to go find her. And looking at Mouse, it was then that Dog knew Mouse was the one. It had always been true. And that little Mouse, upon learning this fact, was truly surprised and taken back, because Mouse had just done what she knew that she should, helping out someone just because that she should. And it's a sweet story about friendship and being there for others, and sometimes not noticing things that are right under our nose. All right, Bob is a Unicorn. This is for ages 3 to 7, again with the beautiful black outlines and the beautiful colors in it to grab our children's attention. This celebrates the power of imagination and always believing in yourself no matter what anyone says. This book was born when a super conservative friend of Miss Michelle's made fun of how Michelle saw the world. She joked back to her that she was going to make a book about a unicorn that flies around on rainbows and eats people that are negative, like him. So Bob is not a unicorn. Everyone can see that. Everyone but Bob. So a cool little fact too, right here, this donkey, this is Betsy. And you actually don't see Betsy anywhere in the book, but Michelle told me a cool little fact that Betsy was actually called away by her mom while her and Bob were playing make-believe and pretending and using their imagination. So it's kind of what you call a red herring, as you don't see her anywhere in the book. So the book goes through different friends of Bob's that are kind of too busy and don't get what he's trying to do. And it says, "Hey, Bob. Hey, Stella. What are you supposed to be? You can't tell?" No. And so see, it goes through lots of cases like that. "Margot, can you tell what I am, right? Besides silly?" And so it kind of showcases how people don't always believe in us and they don't see who we are trying to be, and just believing in yourself no matter what. So finally, after going through all his friends, Bob says, "Oh, well," and I love this page because you can kind of use your imagination. And then he comes across this beautiful fairy and she says, "Oh, look at you. You are the best unicorn I've ever seen. What a beautiful horn. And just look at your mane and the sparkles. Let's play, Bob." And Bob gets excited and he says, "Okay," and they go off to play. And then at the end of the book, you see what everybody else actually sees, which is just a big elephant and a little girl playing make-believe, and they go off to play together. So Bob also comes that you can buy an additional cute little plush to go with him, and he's got this cute little horn, and it actually just comes off with Velcro, and he's back to being just a normal elephant. But then you attach his horn, and he's a unicorn again. Next up is Cordelia, again for ages 3 to 7. Look at the beautiful coloring and bright black outline that our kids love. This book is truly about believing in yourself and not letting others doubt in you and keep you from what you know you can do. So this book came to Michelle as she was at a writer's conference. And she was having some insecurities and doubt in herself about her abilities to write. There was lots of people there that had written novels, and she was thinking, there's no way I can do that. And so in her spare time, she visited a 200-year-old grave site at Martha's Vineyard. And she said there, "If anybody has a story, I will write a picture book for you." And she was immediately drawn to this grave site with the name Cordelia on it. So the book came to her 3 months later, and the rest is history. This says, "Cordelia could fly along with the breeze. What seemed impossible, she did with ease." And it goes through different scenes of her flying, playing with the moon and stars. Her happiness was endless. Her delight only grew until the day others doubted she could fly, doubted she flew. And it shows all these scenes and different things she did until others doubted her and she stopped flying. And this is Beatrice. I'll tell you about Beatrice in a second. And the moon and stars were sad. And so I love that the color starts to come out of her in these pages. And then she goes completely gray and she starts missing all the things that she did. This is my favorite. It says, "As she thought about her friends, her sadness became anger. She was mad at herself for letting other people change her. Who was anyone to say if she could or couldn't fly? What was or wasn't possible if they didn't even try?" And she gets angry. And this page, she starts off gray and the color starts to return and return. And it says, "As Cordelia ran along, a feeling began to start. It was a soothing on her soul, a soothing in her heart." And she flies again. And this right here is Beatrice. And Miss Michelle just got finished writing Beatrice and is in the process of editing it and hopefully getting it published. And Beatrice is the story. It is a chapter book. Beatrice actually taught Cordelia how to fly. And so we are all excited about this book coming out. Cordelia also has a cute little plush stuffed to go with it, with her little red hair and her cute little purple stockings that you can buy in addition to that matches the book. That is all of Michelle Nelson-Schmidt's books with Usborne Books and More. I hope you will use this product knowledge to go out and sell some of her wonderful books and kids just love them. And I appreciate Michelle for giving me some insider information into these books, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thanks so much.